Hello there, I'm Rich Preston. Welcome to the programme. Good to have you with us. And we come on air with developments in the Middle East as attempts to secure a ceasefire in Gaza continue. Hamas has issued a response to a proposal presented earlier in the week by President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff. The group, which is designated a terror organisation by a number of countries, including the UK and US, says it's prepared to release 10 living Israeli hostages and the bodies of 18 dead hostages. That would be in exchange for the release of Palestinians held in Israeli prisons. Well, let's go straight to our correspondent, Barbara Plett-Usher, who's in Jerusalem. Barbara, what more can you tell us about what Hamas has said?
Well, that statement that it's prepared to release 10 living hostages and 18 dead ones, that's in line with the proposal that Steve Witkoff offered. Those were the numbers in the terms. But Hamas also issued a very detailed response to other parts of the proposal with which it disagreed, basically laying out its long-standing demands for a permanent ceasefire, that is an end to the war, a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, and also a return to unrestricted flow of aid in Gaza. And none of those things are in the proposal that's on offer. So, in effect, they were saying yes to the proposal, but. So it wasn't a clear acceptance, it wasn't a clear rejection, because Hamas is under a lot of pressure to accept this proposal, and yet it doesn't meet the kinds of things it has consistently asked for. So we'll see where this goes. The question then becomes, is there more bandwidth, is there more space to negotiate changes? I think the indications we've been getting from the Israelis all along is that there probably isn't, but they haven't given an official response yet.
Yeah, that but is, of course, a big but. Barbara, you mentioned no official response from Israel yet, but they were in principle happy with the proposal by Steve Witkoff, weren't they?
Well, yes. In fact, the White House said it had shown the proposal to Israel and got clearance, got its approval before it handed it over to Hamas. So these are the terms that Israel could accept, and that's how the White House operated. And Hamas was surprised when it got the proposal, because it said it had been speaking to U.S. officials earlier in the week, or the U.S. representative, and had been led to understand that its concerns would be met more closely by the U.S. offer. And then once the Americans had run it past Israel, this is what came out. So they were quite disappointed. In particular, they want guarantees that the temporary truce, which would last about 60 days, could eventually become a permanent ceasefire. That is, that there could be guarantees from the U.S. and from the mediators, Egypt and Qatar, that would prevent a return to the war after the 60-day period, so that they could work on an end to the war. Whereas the Israelis have always said that they wanted to keep that option to return to fighting open. And what we've seen in the Israeli press so far, quoting Israeli sources, is that they're seeing this in effect as a rejection of the proposal that Mr. Witkoff put out, that it's almost like a counter-proposal.
OK, Barbara Plett-Usher for us following those developments from Jerusalem. Barbara, thank you.